The Tarkwa Gold Refinery, with its vaults of gleaming gold bars, was a fortress. Yet, in 2016, a group of armed robbers breached its defenses, leaving the world stunned and the mining sector shaken. The mastermind, known only as the architect, was a phantom in the criminal underworld. He had spent months assembling his team, each chosen for their specific skills. Kwame, the tech genius, could hack into any security system. Akosua, the master of disguise, could blend into any environment. Boadu, the ex-military strategist, had experience in precision operations. Together, they formed an unstoppable force. They spent weeks planning the heist, studying the refinery's security protocols, and analyzing the guards' routine. Every detail was scrutinized. Every possible outcome was considered. The heist would take place during a night shift when the security was slightly more relaxed. On a moonless night, the team converged near the refinery, dressed in black and equipped with state-of-the-art gear. They were ready. Kwame remotely disabled the perimeter alarms, creating a temporary blind spot in the security system. Akosua, disguised as a maintenance worker, walked through the front gate without arousing suspicion. Boadu and the architect, using climbing gear, scaled the outer walls and dropped into the compound. Inside, Akosua navigated through the hallways, her heart pounding. She reached the security office, where Kwame had already looped the camera feeds to show empty corridors. The guards, bored and unaware, were engrossed in a soccer match on television. Akosua signaled Boadu and the architect, who made their way to the vault. The vault was a massive structure of reinforced steel. Boadu, with his military training, quickly assessed the locking mechanism. Kwame, working remotely, provided the necessary codes to bypass the electronic locks. Time was of the essence. They had only few minutes before the guards would resume their patrols. As Boadu worked, Akosua kept a lookout. Her nerves stretched thin. Finally, the vault door swung open with a heavy groan, revealing rows of gold bars stacked neatly on shelves. They moved swiftly, loading the gold into reinforced bags. Each bar was heavy, but the adrenaline coursing through their veins gave them strength. Just as they were about to make their escape, a disaster struck. A security guard, deviating from his usual routine, approached the vault area. Akosua, thinking quickly, stepped out to intercept him. She spun a story about a gas leak in another part of the refinery, urging him to check it out immediately. The guard hesitated, but then hurried off, leaving them with precious few moments to complete their task. As they finished loading the last of the gold, an alarm blared. Kwame's system hack had been detected. Panic set in as the guards mobilized. The team grabbed the bags and made a dash for the loading dock, where their gateway vehicle awaited. The refinery's alarm echoed while the team sped through Tarkwa's narrow streets. Boadu at the wheel navigated with precision, but the police were closing in. Kwame in the backseat hacked into the city's traffic system, creating chaos at key intersections to slow their pursuers. The chase was a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Sirens wailed and lights flashed in the rearview mirror. Akosua, sitting in the front, monitored police communications, relaying crucial information to Boadu. They swerved through the city, barely avoiding capture at every turn. As dawn broke, they reached a pre-arranged safe house on the outskirts of town. The team split up, each taking a different route to ensure their tracks were covered. The gold was hidden in an underground bunker, to be retrieved later when the heat died down. The heist made headlines worldwide. The Tarkwa Gold Refinery was thrown into chaos, with the local police and private security firms scrambling to understand how such a breach could occur. The mining sector was gripped by fear. If a high-security facility like Tarkwa could be hit, nowhere was safe. Government officials faced intense scrutiny. The heist raised questions about corruption and the adequacy of security measures in the country's lucrative mining industry. Investigations began, but the architect and the team had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only speculation and trial of uncertainty. Later on, Kwame relocated to a tech hub in Asia, where his skills were in high demand. He set up a legitimate cybersecurity firm, advising corporations on how to protect their digital assets. Despite his success, paranoia haunted him. He avoided public appearances and maintained a low profile. One day, a familiar face appeared among his clients, an Interpol agent working undercover. Kwame recognized the threat and disappeared overnight, leaving his firm and the life he had built behind. Akosua, the chameleon, found solace in anonymity. She traveled through Europe, using her skills to craft new identities. She eventually settled in Spain, becoming an art dealer in a small, vibrant town. Her talent for disguise made her an expert in identifying forgeries, earning her respect in that art community. But the peaceful life she had constructed was disrupted when a rival dealer, suspicious of her past, began digging into her past. Akosua, sensing the tightening noose, faked her own death and vanished, her whereabouts unknown even to her former comrades. Boadu returned to his roots, setting up a private security firm in West Africa. His military background and the heist notoriety brought him high-profile clients. However, his conscience weighed heavy, the thrill of the heist overshadowed by his moral cost. A chance encounter with a former associate, now a governor official, put him in a dicey position. Faced with a threat of exposure, Boadu turned himself in, striking a deal to work with the authorities in exchange for leniency. His cooperation led to significant reforms in the security protocols of the mining sector. The architect remained the most elusive. Having orchestrated the perfect crime, he retreated to a remote island in the Pacific. He lived a life of quiet contemplation, planning meticulously for future endeavors. However, solitude bred suspicion. Unaware to him, his movements were being tracked by a relentless investigative journalist, obsessed with uncovering the truth behind the Tarkwa heist. One fateful night, as the architect was reviewing his next grand scheme, the journalist made contact, offering a deal, a tell-all book in exchange for immunity. The architect, intrigued by the prospect of his story immortalized, agreed. The gold bars, hidden in a secluded warehouse in Ghana, remained untouched. Local legends spoke of the cursed fortune, but no one dared to seek it. Years later, a young woman stumbled upon a cryptic map whilst cleaning her late grandfather's attic. Driven by curiosity and the lure of adventure, she embarked on a quest that would unravel the final mystery of the Tarkwa Gold Refinery heist. After discovering the cryptic map in her grandfather's attic, Sarah could hardly contain her excitement. The map, yellowed with age and marked with mysterious symbols, seemed to point to a hidden treasure in the dense forest of Ghana. Her grandfather had been a miner in Tarkwa, and she wondered if he had been involved in the infamous Tarkwa gold refinery heist. Determined to uncover the truth, Sarah decided to follow the map. She spent weeks preparing for the journey, gathering supplies and studying the terrain. On a bright morning, she set off, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and anticipation. The journey through the forest was exhausting. Thick underbush and towering trees made navigation difficult. Sarah relied heavily on the map and her grandfather's old notes, which contained cryptic clues and landmarks. She faced numerous challenges, including treacherous paths, wild animals, and unpredictable weather. One night, she camped under the stars. She felt a growing connection to her grandfather. She wondered about his role in the heist and why he had kept the map. Was he part of the team, or had he found the map later? These questions fueled her determination. After days of relentless trekking, Sarah reached a secluded part of the forest. The map indicated that she was close. She carefully examined the surroundings and found a cleverly concealed entrance to an underground bunker, overgrown with vines and hidden from plain sight. With a mixed feeling of excitement and apprehension, she pried open the rusty door and descended into the darkness. Her flashlight beam revealed an old warehouse filled with stacks of gold bar. It was the stolen gold from the Tarkwa gold refinery heist. As Sarah explored the warehouse, she found more than just gold. There were old documents, photographs, and personal items that hinted at the lives of the heist members. Amongst the items was a journal belonging to her grandfather, detailing his involvement in the heist and his reasons for hiding the gold. He had always intended to return it, but never found the right time. The journal revealed that her grandfather was not only a miner, but was also a reluctant participant in the heist. He had been coerced into joining the team due to his knowledge of the refinery. After the heist, guilt consumed him, and he decided to hide the gold, hoping one day to return it and make amends. With the gold before her, Sarah faced a moral dilemma. She could take the gold and secure her future, or she could honor her grandfather's wishes and return it. The journal's final entry, a heartfelt note to her, made her decision clear. Her grandfather had hoped that if she ever found that gold, she would do the right thing. Sarah decided to contact the authorities anonymously and provide the coordinates of the hidden warehouse. She knew this would lead to a media frenzy and possibly open old wounds, but it was the right thing to do. News of the discovery spread quickly. The Tarkwa gold refinery heist resurfaced in headlines, and the mining sector once again faced scrutiny. Authorities recovered the gold and launched a renewed investigation into the heist, this time with more clues and better understanding of the participants. Sarah's identity remained a secret, but she felt a deep sense of satisfaction knowing she had honored her grandfather's wishes. The gold was returned, and she had uncovered a piece of her family's history. The heist's legacy continued, now intertwined with a story of redemption and integrity. Years later, Sarah wrote a book about her journey and her grandfather's story, omitting sensitive details to protect her anonymity and those involved. Her book became a bestseller, shedding light on the complexities of the Tarkwa gold refinery heist and the human stories behind it. The heist remained a cautionary tale, a testimony to human ingenuity, greed, and ultimately the power of doing the right thing. Sarah's journey became an inspiring story of courage, legacy, and a relentless pursuit of truth. Guys, what do you think of this story? Please comment below what you would have done if you were in Sarah's position. and kindly subscribe for more of these. Thank you.